You know that feeling when you're at a party, surrounded by people, music's playing, conversations are happening, and yet you feel more alone than if you were actually sitting in your apartment picking lint out of your belly button? Yeah, that special kind of loneliness where you're physically surrounded by humans, but emotionally, you might as well be a potted plant in the corner. What if I told you that your brain is basically a tiny monkey that's terrible at math? And this monkey is the reason you feel isolated even when you're elbow to elbow with strangers. Today, we're going to figure out why your monkey brain can't count social connections properly, and more importantly, how to trick it into realizing you're actually part of the troop. Here's the thing about your monkey brain. It's really good at some stuff, like spotting threats and craving sugar, but it's absolutely garbage at understanding context. When you walk into a crowded room, your inner monkey doesn't see a potential support network. It sees a bunch of other monkeys who might steal your bananas, or worse, notice that your banana isn't as impressive as their bananas. So what happens? You grab a drink, you find a corner, you pretend to be fascinated by your phone. You're physically present, but emotionally you've built a fortress. And the weird part, the more people there are, the lonelier you feel. Because now it's not just I'm alone, it's I'm alone and everyone can see that I'm alone, and they're probably all talking about how alone I look. Congratulations, you've just given your monkey brain a full-time job generating anxiety content. This is what I call the crowded room paradox. You'd think loneliness would be solved by proximity to humans, but your monkey doesn't care about proximity. Your monkey cares about connection, and connection requires something your monkey is terrified of: vulnerability. So you end up in this social paralysis where you're surrounded by potential friends, but you can't make a move, like a predator that forgot how to hunt. Let's get into the neuroscience, but I promise to make it fun. Your brain has this thing called the default mode network. Sounds like a computer setting, right? Basically, it's the part of your brain that activates when you're not doing anything specific. When you're just standing there at a party, not talking to anyone, your default mode network lights up like a Christmas tree. And what does it do? It runs simulations. It starts predicting what other people think of you. It replays past social failures. It imagines future social disasters. Your monkey brain is basically running a horror movie where the monster is other people possibly not liking you. Which is weird, because statistically, most people at that party are too worried about whether you like them to even notice you. Here's a fact that'll bake your noodle. Studies show that people consistently overestimate how much others notice and remember their social awkwardness. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. Your monkey brain thinks there's a giant spotlight on you, highlighting every awkward pause, every slightly too loud laugh, every time you held eye contact for exactly zero point 0.3 seconds too long. In reality, nobody's watching. They're all too busy worrying about their own spotlights. Think of your brain like a smartphone. When you're alone, it's in battery saving mode. But when you walk into a crowded room, suddenly you've got 50 apps open, all running in the background, all draining your mental battery. The social anxiety app is streaming in 4K. The self-doubt app is downloading updates. The comparison engine is running at full capacity. No wonder you feel exhausted and disconnected. Your poor monkey brain is trying to process way too much social data with way too little RAM. Here's what happens when you start applying this stuff. First, you realize that most people are just as lonely and awkward as you are. They're all running their own horror movies, starring themselves as the awkward one. Realizing this is like finding out everyone at the party is wearing the same ugly sweater. Suddenly, you're not self-conscious anymore. You're part of a club. Second, you stop treating social situations as performances and start treating them as experiments. The goal isn't to be impressive. The goal is to learn something, connect with someone, maybe share a genuine laugh. When you take the pressure off, your monkey brain relaxes. It stops running threat assessments and starts actually enjoying itself. And third, you discover something beautiful. Connection is everywhere. It's in the shared eye roll when someone makes a bad joke. It's in the mutual acknowledgement that this party music is way too loud. It's in the small moments of human recognition that happen when two people drop their guard at the same time. The crowded room stops being a threat assessment challenge and starts being a field of potential bananas. Look, your monkey brain is always going to be there. It's always going to run simulations, spot threats, and try to keep you safe. That's its job. But you don't have to let it run the show. You can acknowledge it, thank it for its input, and then walk towards another human anyway. The loneliness you feel in crowded rooms isn't a life sentence. It's just your monkey doing bad math. And the good news, monkeys can learn new tricks. If this video made your monkey brain feel a little less alone, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more banana-themed psychology. And if you really want to go deep on rewiring your social instincts, check out the channel membership. We've got exclusive content that'll make your monkey dance. Thanks for watching. Now go find someone to share a banana with.